Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Boldly Going, where we explore the avenues of Star Trek. I'm Merlin, sometimes known as Joe, and I've got the film fanatics here with me tonight. I've got Dan over there.
Hello.
Justin over here.
Howdy.
And we're going to talk about the next generation. We're going to talk about Heart of Glory, and this time, because I remember, because it wasn't that long ago, Justin's doing the synopsis this time. Can you tell me about this
Also,
episode?
Wesley's not even in it, so Justin's perfect for this.
Perfect.
Oh, man.
Perfect
Okay.
for this time. Tell me about it.
Oh.
Tell me.
All right, so this time round, so we're doing Heart of Glory, a.k.a. Worf's Big Adventure.
Worf gets something to do.
Worf finally has a job to do in TNG Season 1.
Yes.
Holy crap.
I know Dan's been waiting that for a while.
Oh, yeah.
But
I have 2 exclamation points next to Worf is in it.
What Worf's the next gen? When was this going to happen?
But pretty much, the Enterprise finds themselves in Klingon territory, eventually intercepting a couple of fellow Klingons who sort of gravitate towards Worf, and they realize that the dilemma between him as a member of the Enterprise and him as in terms of his Klingon heritage are two very different extremes.
That's a continuing theme with Worf.
I don't know what you mean, Joe, but
Might come up again and again and again.
But sort of wrestling with that idea of do we turn these guys in? Is there more to the story? And pretty much where does Worf stand as a member of the crew versus being who he is? I'll be honest with you, gentlemen. I am absolutely terrified to say it, but we finally got a really, really, really good TNG Season 1 episode.
All right.
I think the themes here are really well handled. I think Worf really gets a moment to shine, and I gotta say, he's got some serious acting chops.
Yeah, Michael Dorn's a good actor.
I was really impressed at how well they developed these characters and really wrestled with the ethical philosophy behind what to do and how things should play out.
Oh man, if you like this one, you'll like some of the later Klingon episodes.
Oh, I'm sure. I feel like we haven't done enough with Klingons yet in the Trek lore, but
No, we haven't come across them too much yet, even in TOS.
when do they start becoming a big thing? Not to get off topic, but
They should show up at some point in the first season. They don't have that many episodes in TOS actually. There's like a handful. They don't really become a big deal until the movies make some main villains Klingons and then transition into Next Gen with Worf. So the combination of the movies for TOS and the Next Gen.
I was going to say, wasn't there an episode that inspired Axanar?
Well, there are some early ones, but like I said, it's actually not as many as you'd think. Even going back watching it, I wouldn't have thought so. But no, Klingons are actually much more prevalent in Next Gen and beyond than in TOS.
I mean, obviously we have Voyager and what have you, but this is really one of the first major episodes I can think of that we've really sort of addressed that. We've had Ferengi, the
Cardassians,
of course. What's the Voyager one? That's like wannabe Klingons, the Klaxon or something like that. Klaxu, I think.
They suck.
Yeah, not great. Don't get me wrong, but no, I mean, there's a good sense of menace, but also a good sense of an actual well-developed alien race here. It doesn't feel like something they just sort of threw together to be topical.
Well, they've had Klingons for a little while.
They have, but I think with some of these, it's sort of like, okay, what weird random race can we introduce this time around? Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's really impressive, sometimes not so much.
True.
This time around, they've really spent some time on, okay, how can we develop that? How can we really give this character that's sort of been on the sidelines for the bulk of the season is time to shine and really do something well with it?
It's true.
Giving and the interplay between the two extremes. I think the resolution leaves a little bit to be desired, but I think it's a really solid episode. I leave it with an A-.
All right, now
highest for Next Gen.
I think so.
I gave one
so.
A-, which you kind of were like,
was that
you're dumb.
Didn't say that.
Yeah, you were like,
everyone's sort of like hallucinating and.
I forget which exact episode it was, but I remember Joe being like, well, if you think this is an A-, just wait till we actually get to real Next Gen episodes.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
No, this is definitely one of the better ones we've seen. Not quite as high on it as Justin, but I thought, finally we get to see Worf, of course. One of my favorite things about this episode, the main thing. And, I always love when we kind of explore the background of a lot of these characters because, it is always interesting. It's not like they're a family, I mean, they are in turn, but it's like, like a show with a family, okay, there's the mother and father, and there's the kids. It's like, you don't know how any of these people come together.
As you know, Dan, eventually it does become like a family.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't mean to say it's not, but like, we're almost to the end of the first season, and we don't know about
any of them, really.
A lot of these characters' backgrounds.
It's true.
So I always think it's very interesting. Or, even a show like, like Cheers. Okay, well, great. They all go to the bar and they all drink. That's how they know each other. It's like, something like this. It's like, why'd you get into Starfleet? Right.
Yes.
Why'd you get into Starfleet? How successful, were you? Whatever.
Yeah.
So I love finding that kind of stuff out, which is why, to be honest, Justin, I don't mind all of the Kira episodes because I think, at least we get to know her. I thought the beginning was a bit slow. It took about 15 minutes really to get to the meat of the story, which I think is a little bit long. But I did like the part at the beginning where we kind of saw through Geordi's eyes what he sees. That was very interesting. There again, character development for Geordi.
About time we actually did something with his eyes.
Get to know a little bit more about him. Yeah, it's like him and Worf have really been...
Like, they touched on it a little bit.
Black guys.
I guess that's
Coincidence?
true.
I don't know.
I suppose that's true. I mean, as somebody who's sort of grown up just seeing various Next Gen episodes from different seasons and not really knowing, what they were from. Because my dad would watch them live, but he had so many tapes. I mean, he would watch whatever season. So I never knew. To me, like, Worf and Geordi were always front and center. And it's clearly not the case.
No.
Not quite, no.
Yeah. No, I thought the ethical dilemmas were great here. I think Michael Dorn is all right in this episode.
Gets better.
I think he gets... Well, I know he gets much better. I think because they haven't given his character much to do... I think he's okay. I don't think he really...
I think he does well with what he has.
Yeah, I think it's an okay acting episode for him. But I leave it with a B+.
Well, I do agree with you guys that it's actually a pretty good episode for Worf in the sense that it's kind of the beginning of his journey, and there's definitely some good ethical dilemmas here. But I will say that it's one of those things where contextually, once again, if you guys like this one, Worf just gets so seriously. Like Worf gets so much more development. I mean, they go deeper into his backstory, into his conflicts with the other families and the Klingon Empire. And then it goes a little bit further than that. It just gets so much. This is just kind of the kickoff for him. So I know there's much better on the way. But for what it is, this is pretty decent. I think Michael Dorn's acting also improves because he's in Star Trek forever.
Yeah, true.
Basically.
He's one of the long-standing ones.
Really has a lot of recurring roles and stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, it's enjoyable. I do think you're right, Dan. It's a little slow in the beginning, but it was kind of cool to get to see that interaction and add some dynamic for him. So it's kind of a staple in that sense. But I can't say that I think it's a great episode. I think it's just kind of decent. I'd leave it with a B myself.
Okay. All right.
It's all right.
Stands to reason for us, though.
No, it's good. It's a decent season 1 episode.
Finally, something great.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think...
Ish.
Something
very
good.
I think part of it is also, you stack this one up against so many of the other TNG episodes we've had to choke down.
And I feel like that's what it is for
That's
you
what
guys.
I mean, yeah.
Is that comparatively within the season, it's really great. But, like, is it, entering
upper
the greatest
tier,
caliber?
Yeah.
Trust me, Justin. You got a couple seasons.
That's what he said when I gave
be,
the A-.
You'll be. I know, and you look back at some of your grades, like,
true,
well, if
know.
this is clearly an A+, is this really an A-? Like, I don't know.
Hard to say. We've got a long.
But you graded on what we've seen so far. You know what we've been presented with so far has been not great.
A breath of fresh air sounds like good at this point. But
true.
I'll accept that though. I think it is good. I'm glad you guys liked it. It's good to see Worf get something to do. Though I will say, there's an improvement to be had there for sure.
Sure.
Next time though, DS9.
Season 1 finale.
Season 1
finale. Yeah. Wrapping that up.
I know.
Frapping
that on up.
Frapping it up. All right, I think it's late. We just did another podcast, so we'll wrap it up.
It's fine.
But I'm going to say goodnight, gentlemen. You guys can too.
Yep, we'll see you.
Take it easy.
And take us out.